Okay, this is an example of what we're going to make. It's just 3 photos that fly on top of each other on a nice background with a bit of a glowy sort of effect around the edges. So I've got a new blank sequence. We load that up. Let's start with our background. I'm going to make this sequence 9 seconds long, so each photo is up for around 3 seconds. Edit that on, so 9 seconds exactly. Add a blank layer, and I'm going to do a color corrected vignette. And I really make it dark, and that's too much color, so I want to knock the chroma back under HSL controls, saturation 40, enter. We want to go to, in the effect menu, we want to go to key, animate, alt drag animate onto the color correction, go into effect mode, select oval. On the record side, we draw a fairly small circle, and in the effects editor we swap sources, so that's the right way around. And we feather, in the effect mode, we feather it out, so get that kind of effect. Let's make our shape a little smaller. And I'm just going to make the color correction not quite as dark. The only way to do a color correction that's in a nest is you have to step in to do a color correction. You cannot double click and open the nest and try and do a color correction, because it will not let you. It does not show any color correction information. It will not let you do that. So you must, to do a color correction, step in is the only way. Then I get my color correction information. Right, so I'm going to create another blank layer. I'm going to add from the effects menu under blend, 3D warp, and I'm just going to reference my original sequence and check that I've started big and it zooms out. So we'll load our training clip and do the same thing. So keyframe at the start, keyframe at the end, go to the first keyframe, zoom it up. So now when we scrub through, you can see it going back. Just going to render that just to make things easier as we move on. We'll take 1 minute. You want to stop? No, keep going. Keep going.
You got a joke you can tell?
I was going to tell you about the person you asked about before, but not on camera.
This aperture in my phone is rubbish. What do you mean?
The reason you're still recording. The reason I'm doing a render here is because I've got an animate, and animats are really quite intensive for Avid to work with. So once you're getting too many layers up, you'll struggle to scrub through and see how your animation's looking. So every now and then it's good just to stop, and after a few layers just do a render of the top layer. And the render's almost done. Okay, so if we play that, see that's moving back very slowly. Alright, so got 3 photos, so we're going to add 3 layers, but I'm going to add an extra layer, and I'll tell you why later. I'm going to leave layer 4 blank, and on layer 5, for the whole duration of the timeline, which is 9 seconds, we're going to add photo 1. Again, it's always good not to use the first frame of a photo, so just scrub in a bit, edit that on. Next layer, we're going to go forward 3 seconds and edit on photo 2. scrub in, put that on, go to start a photo 2, go forward 3 seconds from there, select layer 7, mark in, mark out, load photo 3, scrub forward, that on the timeline. Now the photos are very red, so I've got a color correction saved away already, so I'll apply that now. So photo 1, photo 2, and photo 3. Save that. So we want to animate each of these photos and have them fall onto the screen, and we want a white border on them to make them look like a sort of an older style photo. So to do that, the best way to do that is to use 3D warp. So we put 3D warp on the bottom one. So Alt drag because I've got a color correction already.